Hello everyone. Today I wanted to talk about the Bond key plates that some of the Bond owners may not know about. I have recorded this video in the past, probably over 10 years ago now, but I thought it's time to re-record it because it's pretty poor quality. It's quite old. And if you haven't seen the video, then this is quite a refresher, to help you understand the differences, because at first glance you can see that these key plates just look the same. But they are slightly different, the ones here on the right, to the original ones. When the Bond first came out in 1981, you had the 4 key plates, and they were numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, these came with the original Bond, the blue one, and the classic, which was the two-tone grey, the grey and flint colour. They also came with very early Incredible sweater machines. So those were the original key plates 1 to 4. Now a few years later, shortly after the release of the Incredible sweater machine, in about 1993, they brought out some new key plates and they called them the dot key plates, and they were numbered dot 1, dot 2, dot 3 and dot 4. And you can tell the difference between an original key plate and a dot key plate because you have the little embossed dot just above the number on all 4 key plates, whereas you don't have that on the original ones. So that's how you can tell the difference, the first difference anyway. There is another one which I'll talk about soon. Now, the key plate 1, the original key plate 1, had no equivalent on the dot key plates. Dot 1 knits at the tension of the old key plate number 2. Dot 2 knits at the tension halfway between the old 2 and 3. Dot 3 is exactly the same as the old 3. And dot 4 is exactly the same as the old 4. But they made further improvements to the dot key plates that the original key plates didn't have. They added to key plates 2, 3 and 4 these side pieces on the edges. They called them bounce bars, and they were to stop the needles from bouncing forward if you're knitting too fast, because that could sometimes happen with the original key plates. You see 2, 3 and 4 on the original ones don't have them, whereas dot 2, dot 3 and dot 4 does. Now, in about 2000, the Bond Knitting Systems company that made all this stuff and the machines closed up shop and sold it off to the USA. And the Ultimate sweater machine was born. That was never introduced into the UK. It was only a US model, and it wasn't made by the original Bond company. However, the Ultimate sweater machine came with the dot key plates as well. This is where it starts to get a bit confusing. And they were also numbered dot 1, dot 2, dot 3 and dot 4. But these were green, as you can see. And they are actually exactly the same as the Incredible sweater machine, dot 1, 2, 3 and 4. However, the Ultimate sweater machine, green ones, have a reverse side. So if you turn it with the number facing down, you get dot 2.5. The same with the key plate 3. You turn it with the number facing down, you get dot 3.5. So that's like an extra size. But they didn't have the half sizes on the original British ones, the dot key plate sizes. And you can see, just like the original dot key plates, the USM dot key plates also have the bounce bars on dot 2, 3 and 4. Now, just for some further helpful information, the Intarsia keyplate, the original UK one that says Classic Intarsia on it, I don't know about the Bond America version, both the black one that they had that said Bond America on it and the yellow one. I've never used that one, so I can't help you with the info on that, but the original one, when the keyplate size is set to 1, it will be knitting at the tension of old keyplate 1. When you have it set to 1.5, there is no equivalent to the standard keyplates, both the original and dot sizes. When you have the keyplate size set at 2, it will be knitting at the tension of old keyplate 2 or dot 1. When you have it set at 2.5, that will knit at the tension of keyplate dot 2. When you have it set at 3, that will knit at the tension of both the old 3 and the dot 3. When you have it set at 3.5, that will knit at the tension of the USM keyplate 3.5 or dot 3.5, which, like I said, there was no half size on the original dot keyplates, which is why it's only equivalent on the USM one. And finally, when it's set at 4, that will knit at the tension of the original 4 and the dot 4. Okay, so hopefully that's provided you with some clarity on the keyplate sizes for the 8mm Bond machines. The original set, the dot set, and the USM dot set, as well as the classic/ISM Intarsia keyplate. Hopefully this video was helpful to you Bond owners, and if not, just be interesting for you in general. And I'll see you again soon.